téléspectateurs, on m'appelle ça encore une fois, on a dit bienvenue sur notre édition de Tête à Tête sur Tele Kreyol, une émission qui parle bilingue en fonction de invités que nous gagnons. Once again, welcome on this new edition of Tête à Tête on Tele Kreyol with you as usual, Charlot Lucien, to welcome a few special guests. Our first guest tonight is City Councilor Yancey. Welcome on Tête à Tête.
Oh, thank you so much. I believe that this is probably the fourth or fifth time we've sat down in the setting, but not quite as glorious as this one where we have these beautiful portraits of revolutionary leader of Haiti, as well as folks home in the community and carrying on life. So thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Oh, merci beaucoup. Of course, you've been part of this too, since you were actually at the forefront of helping us to coordinate the art exhibition that literally brought here in Boston for the first time, or in the US for the first time, artist Pascal Michel, who is the artist who did this work. And so thanks again to you.
We certainly was honored to do that. I believe it's important for us to share our culture. I think it elevates everyone to know about different cultures as well as to celebrate one's own.
Sure. So we'll be speaking with Councilor Yancey about a few topics here.
Yes.
One clearly being the Toussaint Louverture rare books exhibition taking place right now at the Boston Public Library.
Yes, and it will continue through September 30th, so I'm urging all of our viewers to go to the Copley Square Library and go up to the rare books section, and you will be thrilled with the knowledge that is there, not only about Toussaint Louverture, but the whole revolutionary movement.
That's correct. So let me just backtrack a bit to tell viewers that we are now talking about this exhibition in the rare book department of the Boston Public Library that started on June 17th. As you said, will end on September 30th. Yes. And again, free access, books and original letters by Toussaint Louverture as well.
Well, very valuable artifacts. But I also want to thank you for participating in the reception in May that we had at the Mattapan Branch Library within the Alice W. Yancey Community Meeting Room, as well as throughout that new library. Many people spoke quite highly of the art that was on exhibition there, and the very great presentation that was made about the history of the Haitian Revolution.
And if I may refresh your memory, since we are sharing past events,
yes.
The first such event that we had was in 2003. That was to celebrate the bicentennial of the passing of Toussaint Louverture at Faneuil Hall. You were part of the honorary committee that actually helped put this together as well.
Yes, and indeed I was honored to do that. But before we leave the topic of Toussaint Louverture, I just have to hasten to add that there's a void in the city of Boston, that we haven't done a good job recognizing the tremendous contributions of Haitians in the United States, and particularly the role that Toussaint Louverture and Des Soleil played in liberating Haiti, which made it too expensive for the French, who were defeated by Toussaint Louverture, to hold on to the Louisiana Territory, which led to the purchase of the Louisiana Territory by the United States of America, more than tripling its size in the process. So people should understand there is a debt that we owe to the Haitian people. And just as the Irish and the Italians and other nationalities have come to this country and made value contributions, so have our Haitian sisters and brothers. So we must point that out and celebrate it. And I believe we should have a street named in honor of Toussaint Louverture as a daily reminder of the great contributions made by Haitians to the world.
Right. And this is still up to debates. There are voices. The street is one, certainly. We are also hearing about people mentioning, should we have a specific room or a building somewhere in Cambridge or also in Boston, reading rooms and streets, all of those things to memorialize Toussaint Louverture. And his connection to, maybe you might want to also touch base on the abolitionist movement or some of those famous abolitionists who feel that he's been inspired by Louverture himself.
Absolutely. And so the end of slavery in the United States was preceded, of course, by the revolutionary battle in Haiti where former slaves took over their country. Well, for more than 60 years after that, the people in this country were still subjugated to slavery, but the abolitionists like Frederick Douglass and even William Lloyd Garrison and others were inspired
Wendell
by
Phillips, right?
yes, Wendell Phillips were inspired by the revolution in Haiti.
Right. And so let me remind people that there was a grand opening of this rare books exhibitions that took place on June 17th at the Boston Public Library with Charles Yancey representing the City Council, and who else should I mention again?
Well, Representative Byron Rushing, who did an excellent job. Plus, we had an author there, and the
State Senator Linda
Senator
Dawson, former State Representative Maurice Saint-Fleur.
Yes.
Correct, right. So, talking about this again, as a reminder, this is up until the Rare Book exhibition on Toussaint, the Haitian Revolution, is up until September 30th. People might want to visit the third floor of the library. And again, it's a free access from 9 to 5.
Yes. And not many people take advantage of our rare book section, but there's no excuse not to pay that visit to the main branch, the main library of the Boston Public Library System in Copley Square. Between today and September 30th, you can learn a lot more about our heritage as reflected in the writings of Toussaint Louverture.
Now, as we are on the topic of books, there is one piece of information that came to me recently, or that I've been following for quite some time.
Yes.
It is this annual book fair
Yes.
that Charles Yancey and his staff have been coordinating and organizing over the past, I don't know how many years.
Well, only 28 years. And I have to thank my wife, Mazetta, my sister, who's now deceased, Linda Yancey, the former staff members, George Brock, who's no longer with us. Joyce Holland was my chief of staff for 17 years, and she also served as coordinator of the book fair until Lynette Frazier arrived on the scene. And she's been doing a fantastic job marshaling the resources, training the volunteers. We have upwards of 100 volunteers, and we expect upwards of 2,000 participants. And we'll give away anywhere between 20 and 40,000 new books to whoever shows up.
So what generated the idea, and how did it evolve to the point now that we can have so many volunteers and distribute so many books?
Well, the idea back in 1987 was to give back to the community. Not only on my part, but on the part of the entire community. So we placed boxes in variety stores, including the Brigham's ice cream shop on the corner of Fairway Street and Blue Hill Avenue.
I remember the owner, the
with
old
Lenza Evans. We collected books there and about 24 other locations, including City Hall. But most of the books were used. I mean, decent shape, but they were used. So we learned after the very first year that particularly our children enjoy being the first ones to read the books. So we established a policy of only distributing brand new books. And to the extent that we have any used books, we put them in a separate area, but we don't pack them into the book bags that we provide to participants. So the word of mouth got around this town. We got tremendous support from several sponsors, including Coca-Cola, Stop and Shop, and McDonald's, and so many others. But we also negotiated with several publishing houses, including Houghton Mifflin and Sundance, and Amber Books out of Phoenix, Arizona. We received many books that feature African Americans and other people of color. So over the years, we kept growing. In fact, the community meeting room at the Carbon Square Branch Library was where we hosted our very first book fair on February 28th, 1987. The room accommodates 150 people, but during the first year, we had about 250 people. And it kept doubling every year. So eventually, we had to leave that space because it certainly was not large enough, and we didn't want anyone to be injured, so we moved to the Carter Post on Talbot Avenue for 1 year, and then from there we moved to Prince Hall, where we were very successful for more than 10 years, but we even outgrew Prince Hall. So for the last 3 years, we've been at the Reggie Lewis Track Center.
So that will be the next, what's the date then again?
August 30th at the Reggie Lewis Track, that's on a Saturday, from 12 to 3 p.m. We're going to give away thousands, literally thousands of new books to whoever comes, ranging from pre-K to college age.
I was going to contribute a few books in French or Haitian Creole, but I'm feeling overwhelmed.
No, please do so, because quite frankly, we don't have enough books in Haitian Creole. So whatever you contribute will be very, very helpful, whether they're used or new, because we do have a table for used books, and of course, that's open to everyone as well.
So we'll give a few books in French and Haitian Creole.
That would be very, very,
we'll make sure
very
to remind people.
Now, I know you wanted to talk about one other issue. I don't know if we have time.
I would like to touch base on it. Yes, currently in the news, or the big news, this is about 1,000 children who may come from the border of Texas, and this is in the context of people leaving different places in Central and South America and arriving in the U.S. And this is creating a huge uproar at the policy level, political level, pitching Democratic and Republicans about what should be the position of the United States or the local government here in Massachusetts when it comes to those immigrants, and more specifically to about 1,000 that apparently Governor Deval Patrick is willing to welcome in Massachusetts. What's your take on this?
Well, I think it's a heart-wrenching situation where you have children without the guidance and nurturing of their parents traveling hundreds of miles and thousands of miles to reach the U.S. border to escape a very oppressive situation that is taking place within Central America today. I don't think the humane thing is to simply toss them back in the water or on the other side of the Rio Grande. I commend Governor Patrick for his compassion, even though that's not an easy solution either. I just ask everyone in this nation to consider their ancestors and to consider the fact that the vast majority of immigrants who are in the United States today did not come to this country as legal immigrants. Many did, but there are also millions who did not. This is a wealthy country. We have our problems, we have our challenges, but I'm asking all the residents of the United States of America to remember that there's only one group of people who can claim being the original people in this country, the Native Americans. Everyone else, including those of us who were forced from the shores of Africa during slavery, and those of us who came afterwards as free human beings, we are all immigrants in the United States, depends on how far back you want to go. I can trace my family's roots to back 150 years in the city of Boston, and even longer in other parts of this country and in Canada. So let's be compassionate. Let's welcome our new residents for however long they're going to be here. And for God's sake, we have to make sure that we're not contributing to the death of even more children in this world. We lose far too many children within our own country.
Councilor Yancey, would you be okay and willing to have this as a more comprehensive conversation with potentially another guest who might be from the Republican side and who has completely opposite views?
I would be happy to.
Wonderful. I'm going to see if I can arrange that in the next few weeks.
Very good.
Can you share with us a phone number where constituents may reach you or your office about both the upcoming book fair and about this issue if you have questions?
I'm going to ask your viewers to write down the number 617-635-3131. That's a direct line to my office. Ask for Lynette Frazier, who's my chief of staff, but she also coordinates the book fair. 617-635-3131. In français?
617